Morning, everybody. Welcome to the Friday live stream. Don't adjust your mic or your speakers. My voice does sound like this. Went a little bit late last night and was yelling a little bit too much, so the voice sounds a little bit different. But there's good news abound, and the good news this morning. This was from Julian Farrer, and it looks like there was a release of the 13F Bitcoin ETF filings. And we can see that the thing that we all were understanding beforehand, that there's massive interest and massive adoption going on. This is from big names: Cantor Fitzgerald, Citadel, Royal Bank of Canada is investing into the Bitcoin ETF. Goldman Sachs, which we'll get to in a second. Morgan Stanley, the State of Wisconsin Investment Board, Bank of America, UBS, HSBC, and Macquarie Bank. And of course, there'll probably be others coming in, and we'll see what happens with the different revelations of what are potentially happening with other corporations as they start to pull the MicroStrategy playbook and put Bitcoin on their balance sheets, as they should have been doing a long time ago, but I forgive them for that. But it is good news, and it's looking pretty great. And, Goldman Sachs has had a cantankerous relationship with Bitcoin. And this is from Bitcoin Magazine. Looks like Goldman Sachs, they hold over $700 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs per SEC filing. That is not some chump change. That is quite a bit of coin. And good for them. But the reason why I labeled this thumbnail as liars, I should have just called it liar, because that's what I can say here. But and maybe it's not, maybe that's just me being a little bit too harsh on these people. But to take a step back, Goldman Sachs for quite some time, they've kind of tiptoed around the issue. And this is from April 3rd, 2024. And it states, "We're not believers. Goldman Sachs doubles down on crypto skepticism despite Wall Street embracing Bitcoin ETFs." This is Sharman Mosaviramini, Chief Investment Officer of Goldman Sachs Wealth Management. And again, April 3rd, 2024, just not believers. However, there were signs that they were doing things, but it's funny how, one side, I just don't believe that, one side doesn't know what the other side is doing. I think they all have a unified message, I would assume. But there were some telltale signs behind the scenes. Goldman Sachs, this was on December 6, 2022. Goldman Sachs to spend tens of millions of dollars on crypto firms. But they had their advisors, or some of the people that were in charge of investments, going, "Yeah, we really don't believe in Bitcoin." And that's just how it is, as of April. And then all of a sudden, August, Goldman Sachs jumps into Bitcoin ETFs and a hedge fund gets bullish on miners. So this is them saying that, hey, we now had 418 million worth of Bitcoin funds. I just find it interesting that from such a short amount of time, April, May, June, July, August, in 5 or 6 months, all of a sudden they just got on board. I don't know if that is the case, but it just seems kind of odd, but I will welcome them as they come in. Actually, we should be more excited. And when we have that, we can also take a look at, what's going on behind the scenes. This is from CryptoQuant, great website, links in the description. And it talks about the Bitcoin Exchange Reserve, all exchange. Now, this is a difference from the OTC desk. This is just how much Bitcoin is on each and every exchange that they can find. And we can see that going back to 2023, they had quite a bit, plus 3 million, 3.6 million. We can see since 2023 just how things have, obviously the price goes up, people are not willing to put it onto the exchange, or they're figuring out that maybe they shouldn't leave it on there and they take it off. So right now we're at 2.5 million. Not a big factor. I know some people will look at this and go gaga over it, but it's just one indicator of how there is demand. I'm not saying that it's all drying up and there's this supply shock that everybody keeps talking about. Sure, I guess. But it just kind of shows you where things are going. Also, the ETF itself, we are again at all-time highs as far as the Bitcoin flows. Always been positive since the inception. Total net flows are 5,427 Bitcoin. I think we can see the holdings themselves. We can see that the big winner will be IBIT, of course, BlackRock. Next to that will be MicroStrategy, this Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, Fidelity. Wow, Tether Holdings, look at that. Publicly traded miners, and Tesla, 12,000 Bitcoin still on the sheets. And that's Bitcoin. Now, if we take a look at Ethereum, just as an update, as far as total goes, I mean, even it's doing okay. I was kind of concerned about that because for quite some time, the totals were hovering around negative, a little bit of positive, and then back to negative as Grayscale starts dumping. But even the Ethereum ETF is, as of today, positive, 238 million worth of the ETF flow. So that's good. That's positive. And then also this just broke about a couple of hours ago. I had heard this happening. I just didn't know how much. And it looks like Pennsylvania, the state of Pennsylvania, is buying into the theory of the Bitcoin strategic reserve. And they're going to allocate 10% of its $7 billion to buy Bitcoin. Of course, it has to go through their legislature, and they have to vote on it. But looking pretty positive, especially if the almighty United States government is going to do the same thing. And then, of course, we've got other nation states actually bidding on it, and we've actually have other institutions and other states doing things like we just took a look at. Which was it? The State of Wisconsin Investment Board. So Pennsylvania will be in good company as they bring things out. So that was essentially what's going on with Bitcoin in a very quick amount of time. But don't lose sight of altcoins as well. Now, I know that some of you just only invest into Bitcoin. Great. I have invested heavily into Bitcoin. It only makes sense to me. But alts will outperform Bitcoin. It's just truth. And the question is, which ones are they? Now, are they going to be around forever? No, they're not. But just take a look at some of these big gainers today. Well, first of all, Dogecoin. Congratulations, Dogecoin holders. In 30 days, you're up 190%. It's pretty good. But then we see something going on, which is interesting, with XRP. Up 21% in 24 hours, 7 days, 58%, 30 days, 60%. Cardano, 17%. Gosh, Tron's up also. Look at that. And what's the other big stuff? Bitcoin Cash, Pepe, 60. So I'm just telling you, like, you think this is something? Just wait. There's going to be bigger news on the horizon, I think. And that's what we have right there. And this is just a quick snapshot. We talked about this at NFA Live a couple of days ago. But this is my retirement account with iTRUST. I have a Roth IRA, and I bought these back in October, and they're already outperforming. Actually, I think Pepe now is above SWI, if I'm not mistaken, but this is from a couple of days ago. It's outperformed gold, silver, and Toncoin. It's outperformed Solana and SWI in a very short amount of time. So don't fade the altcoins, and also don't fade some of these meme coins. They're gambling, but hey, that's what we're here for. And then also, big news on Cardano. This is just rumors swirling. I know Charles had come out on his live stream. He had talked about how he's going to be advising or educating some members of Congress on blockchain and digital asset technology. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days ago, he's stopping by over there at SpaceX, and he says, "Oh, Hawthorne sure is pretty," which I guess that's where SpaceX is at, in Hawthorne. And if you remember, during the floods, World Mobile assisted Starlink in their efforts to connect the unconnected. And there was a documentary that's being put out, and it looks like Starlink and World Mobile are doing some kind of collaboration. Now, this is just Starlink praising World Mobile. There's nothing official. Let me make that 100% clear. And it's just quite interesting. On top of that, I got a nice, because I was thinking to myself, well, maybe he just says Hawthorne's pretty, but I guess he's there at SpaceX talking to Elon and the gang about whatever Charles is talking about. I'm going to guess it's probably something about Cardano. And then this was interesting. I'm trying to put the dots together. And Chuck has been very svelte, nice, accommodating to some of the other blockchain crypto companies out there. And I just didn't understand why he was talking to Brad Garlinghouse. I just didn't get it. But now I kind of see where things are going. And he says, I just spoke with Brad Garlinghouse November 12th. He's a great CEO, extremely collaborative. I'm excited to see how the future unfolds. Thanks to the kind words, now's the time for the crypto community to come together, push for a level playing field and clear rules to the road. And I just wonder like why this is going on. If you hadn't seen it, there's another legislative rumor circulating that Donald Trump wants to have exempt taxes on all blockchain or crypto companies that are based in the United States. And then also there's rumors about some type of smart contract voting that may be done on a secure chain. And that's just a rumor, but you can kind of figure that out, which chain they're thinking of using. So that could be just one of the many reasons why XRP is going up. I want to congratulate all the XRP holders. If anybody needs or deserves a win, it would be you guys, because it was not easy to get here. So congratulations. And for all this good talk, I cannot let you get away with walking out of here and going, this is great. Everything's going to go up. Rob just talked how great it was. No, no, no. You must take the bad with the good. And this is just something to put in the back of your mind. Maybe think about this. This is Kevin Malone, wealth manager. And he says here, all of the richest billionaires are selling the market all-time highs, while all the poor people are going all in right now. People will never learn, follow the money for F's sake. And you can see that on here, and we actually talked about this. You see this Jeff Bezos? Sell. November. Brazil, I don't know what Brazil company is. Carp Alexander, Macromind Investments, Brian Armstrong. I know that guy. Looks like he sold some Coinbase on November 11th. Interesting. John Nickel, Smith Bryant, Rhonda Stryker, Tech Cross Management, Joel Bender, Sanjay Gahandra. A lot of other ones. Nevada Trust. I don't know about that one. But it's just something to keep your mind on. We actually talked about this just, almost 2 weeks ago. And I go, warning, there's a sell-off happening by the gurus. One of those is Jeff Bezos, and the other one was Warren Buffett. And we took a look at a website which tracks exactly what Kevin is talking about here. And what we talked about is it's just kind of odd how Bezos and a couple of others, they kind of have the pulse. They kind of know where the market is going. I think maybe they're wrong, but it was interesting just to see their selling patterns, which was right before the pandemic. And they did nothing but accumulate in 2022. They sold before the pandemic. They sold on the top of 2021. Almost, they did in December 2021. They haven't done anything in 2022, 2023, now in 2024, November, that's when they start selling. I just found it an interesting time frame. So watch that video, give some good insights into that. And then also, don't forget, Warren Buffett, he's stockpiling cash. And he cut, I think, 25% of Apple out. So maybe you think something's going on with Apple. And you can just see that he had a pretty good, let's be honest, the guy's got a boatload of money, and so he's been accumulating. He knows that he knows a recession is coming. A recession's coming. Can we all agree that that's going to happen? Is it going to happen tomorrow? Probably not. But it's something to be concerned of. And I think what it is, all we have to do is take a look at the spreads. This is Ben's website, and we take a look at the Treasury yield spreads. The 10 and 3, the 10-year and 3-month. And I want you to notice something in this gray shadowed area. These are recessions. So the only time this hasn't happened is in 1966 and 7, where the yields inverted, then uninverted, got back to baseline, and went up and didn't have an issue. That didn't happen in 1970, when we had an inversion and uninversion recession. In 73, inversion, uninversion, a lot of mess, recession. 79, 80, you get the point. 1990, 2000, I mean, but you'll notice one thing here. It's not like it immediately comes in, right? Once it inverts, when is this? December 89. And the recession isn't called until 1990, July 1990. That's a long time. And we can see it here. And we can see there was a little gap here. Again, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. But look at the depth. Actually, it's not as deep as the other ones, I could say. I mean, historically speaking. But we can see that in the 10 and 3 month, it's almost there, which means at some point you could have a recession in, immediately, which I doubt, or you could have it in a year, 18 months, or something like that. I personally believe that 2025 is still going to be a fantastically great year. But when you have a boatload of money like Warren Buffett, or when you have it like, I don't know, all these guys, you want to start to scale out a little bit because you're hitting all-time highs. Why wouldn't you do it? That's the stupidest thing ever, right? If you are having massive wealth and you hit all-time highs in the stock market and you have a bunch of your own stock, why wouldn't you sell it? Take some off the table. We talk about it all the time in our rules. Number 5, take profits. I got nothing wrong with that. So I still see it. 2025 is going to be big. We're going to keep printing money in the United States. Other countries will follow. We'll have a crazy 2025. Not for sure how long that'll last. Then we'll go into a recession. So plan accordingly. And if you don't think like, well, that doesn't make any sense, just go to the betting markets. Over at Polymarket, they accurately predicted that Trump would beat Harris by a large margin, I might add. And for all the pollsters, for all the Alan Lichtmans, for all the MSNBCs and CNBCs, CNNs, they all got it wrong. All the pollsters and their $1 million forecast models were all wrong. And all it was just a bunch of people like you and me going, I think this is going to work. So if you want to see how the recession might play out, just type in recession and it'll tell you. U.S. recession announced by the NBER, National Bureau of Economic Research, before May? No. Essentially, everybody's saying no. 92%, I guess. Or how about a U.S. recession in 2024? Not a chance. Not in this one. That makes no sense, right? So 2025, no. I'd be interested to see like how these numbers start to change. So if you want to find that out, go over to Polymarket. Me personally, I've got a friend named Bobby. Yeah. And Bobby put because here's the thing. If you're an American citizen, you can't use Polymarket. And there's a disclaimer that says, if you are an American citizen, turn around right now. So of course, I did not do this. This is my friend Bobby. And Bobby bet on the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul fight tonight. And he bet $100. And if he wins, he gets $300. It's pretty good. But the odds are against him. And there's just this, I got to figure this out. I have not found an answer to this. Did you know that Polymarket has a liquidity rewards program? And apparently it's like almost like DeFi. Well, it is DeFi, essentially. I got to do a video on this because it looks like you can get paid for more betting that you do. I can't do it, but maybe I'll get Bobby to do it for me, and we'll see how it goes. But that's it for today. So look, if you like today's video, give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing. Everything we talk about is time sensitive. Now, if you want to do a Q&A, answer all your questions, and we'll go from there. But if you got to take off, enjoy the day. It's a beautiful day. All that good stuff. Nate says, Raymond says, I finally bought some Bitcoin meme coin. Dog. It's a good one. Dog go to moon or Billy the cat. Bobby's a real degen. Bobby's a little nuts. And we shouldn't encourage Bobby, but he does like to gamble. He does a little bit too much of it sometimes. That means I'll take profits when I'm dead and gone. Well, you won't. Your family will. That's for sure. Hey, Rob. In Denmark, it is proposed to make the famous unrealized tax gains. Wow. I'd love to live here, but I can't say I'll be able to hold my crypto long term if that happened. You can't. They're going to make you sell. But the question I have is, well, there's two things. First of all, is there any place where they have unrealized tax gains for equities, stocks specifically? Is there like a place and that's actually worked out? Because that's the first thing I ask. And the second thing is we actually do have unrealized tax gains, and it's called real estate. So every year, the tax assessor comes out for your county or for your state or wherever place you live, and they evaluate your house and they say, this is a nice house, and last year it was 100,000, and now we evaluate it at 150,000. And because we evaluated it higher, you're going to pay higher taxes. Have fun paying that. And that's essentially what happens. That's an unrealized, because, well, how am I going to pay that? It has to come somewhere. It's an unrealized tax because I didn't sell my house, but you're assessing me for that. So that is the second thing. But I guess the third thing would be this. We hear about that here in the United States as well. But me personally, I've been hearing that for 4 years straight, and it hasn't come out yet. And I know I'm pretty sure it's not going to happen with President-elect Trump. I just don't think he's going to go for that. It makes no sense. But even during that time, I think it was a bargaining chip for them to say, hey, we're going to do unrealized tax gains. And then the other side's like, no, don't do that. Okay, well, what about this corporate tax? You know, it was 35, now it's 20. We want 28. No, we don't want that either. Okay, how about 26? No. Okay, 25? Okay, maybe. And I think it's just like a back and forth way to negotiate. So, Matthias, let me know if that actually goes through. I hope not. It'd be more interesting to know the percentage of holdings that billionaires are selling. So, like, if you watch that video, it doesn't say that their percentage; it says their amount, and you can surmise just from other filings. But yeah, watch that video, and there's a website called heck is it called? GuruFocus.com, and they kind of compile all that information for you. Rob, when tomato coin ETF? You know, I'm toying with the idea of actually. There's this coin, and for like as long as I've done this channel, I've just kind of used this generic phrase as, you know, you're investing in Cardano, or you're investing in Solana, or you're investing in this, or you're investing in tomato coin. I'll just say it. I'll throw it out there. So actually, for all my Cardano stake pool stakers, I created a coin called Tomato Coin on the Cardano blockchain, and I airdropped it to everybody. This is in the very early days. And now I'm toying with the idea of just putting that out there and making it a meme coin and see what happens. We'll see. There's going to be a lot of people that have been with me for quite some time. Unrealized capital gains tax equals asset grab. It's very true. Darren Wilkes is up here. Where'd he go? Yeah, good times last night. Good times. Yeah, real estate is unrealized. Exactly, Sol. Like I said, yeah, Darren Dez. I get a live alert at the end. Yeah, YouTube does a poor job about the live streams. I can understand how and why they would do it for pre-recorded videos, because it's like a stuttered approach as you get notified of these videos that come out, so you can have I guess a staggered viewership. But for live streams, I don't know why they don't just say, hey, everybody, hey, 350,000 people that watch Rob, he's live right now. Rob, if Trump kills cap gains on crypto, will you move back from Puerto Rico? No. This place is awesome. Like, I don't know about you, but my wife had to fly back to El Paso to take care of some things with her dad. And it's cold over there. It's below 60. So I know for some of you are laughing, but I'm not a big cold weather fan. So no, I just stay here. People lose their homes on unrealized taxes. Yeah, exactly. Especially the elderly. Not only is it unrealized taxes for that, and there's another tax that people don't talk too much about. If you're on an HOA, that's another thing that's a real pain in the A. And talk to the people in Florida, because they are actually feeling that crunch as well. Especially as as you get older and you're on a fixed income, and then the HOA says, hey, you know what? Instead of $80 a month. Now we're going to be $500 a month. You're like, what the hell happened there? I don't usually get hangovers. It's just that when it gets louder at bars, I got to talk louder, and then no way. In Holland, we have to pay unrealized tax on crypto. What are they doing? They must just not want that to flourish. They must really need taxes badly. Why would you? Here's a question, MS. Why would you even? God, that sucks. Unless it's like really low. Like I wonder what the rate is. Is it like 2% or something? Then I could say, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, for our good news about the banks taking on Bitcoin. Yeah. I mean, it's the exact opposite of what's been going on. I'll take that. I agree with the bargaining aspects. We can hardly get agreements for sensible legislation, little goofy stuff. Exactly, Ed. Makes no sense. Looks like Doge is about to get knocked down a place. Yeah, perhaps so. Rob, how did that 5-day fast go? The first 2 days aren't that bad. And the third day, actually the second day gets a little rough. The third day, everything starts to smooth out. And the fourth day is good. And the fifth day, you're really feeling hungry. But I think it worked out pretty well for me. During that time, I was like mental clarity and more energy and got stuff done. It was good. Probably do it again pretty soon. Unrealized gains like being victim of a crime because you thought about it. Exactly. Yeah. Frankie says, without Fed stimulus, we would be in a recession. GDP is a fake metric. Fed will continue to debase. That's what it does. In conjunction with the U.S. Treasury. Don't forget those guys. They are partners in crime. But hey, need to print that money. Yeah. Nate says the Trump effect is the DXY, $60, pumping at the same time as crypto. It is interesting. We talked about this in a Fed Live, and usually it was the dollar starts to gain strength, then you usually see Bitcoin start to go down. But because Trump's in office and dollar is getting stronger, and he's also talking about Bitcoin. I remember in 2019, 2020, somewhere around there, when Trump specifically said, he goes, I'm not going to do an impression because I suck at it. But he's like, I believe that the US dollar should be strong. I want the US dollar to be number one. I do not care about crypto. And I was like, oh, that sucks. But, he's smart enough to realize that there's a lot of people in the American constituents and the American voter wanted crypto. They wanted Bitcoin. And they needed to listen up, and they did. The smart ones listened up, and the ones that just couldn't get off that anti-crypto army with Elizabeth Warren, they don't have a seat anymore, and they're unemployed. So maybe they can build back better and get a new job. But that's smart people will realize which way the winds are blowing and go, you know what? I'll go with them, because you're essentially going against the tidal wave. AJ says, hey, Rob, is the left translated cycle theory still in play? This is from Bob Lucas. And Bob put out a video over a month ago, and he said that no, it's not going to happen like that. So, I mean, as far as Bob Lucas is saying, no. My HOA is doubling his fees next year, and the treasury that HOA, exactly right. And they have that in their treasury. What exactly they do with it? HOAs. I mean, it's nice to have them, but I mean, come on, you need that much money. The only Cardano channel I trust is Charles' channel. It is from the horse's mouth. That is true. Oh, yeah. SkySeam says Michael99 bot channel trying to scam people. Yeah. I'm worried that a lot of people are going to lose a lot of crypto because of scammers. I don't know about you, but I've gotten 3 text messages so far in the last 5 days from Coinbase saying that there's something wrong with my account and that I need to click yes so they can send me something, or if I did it or not. And of course, the scam works like this. Somebody messed with your crypto centralized exchange account. Okay. Did you authorize this? Yes or no? And you put N, and you put the text goes out, and then almost immediately you get a phone call. Hello, Rob. This is Jonathan, and I'm over here at Coinbase, and there's some suspicious activity. And what I need you to do is I'm going to send you a code right now. I need you to read me that code so we can verify it's you. And what they do is that they go to Coinbase because they know information about you. They put in the information, and then if it's like if you have, which most of you do, a text alert, they'll just put that in and say, I forgot my password. And then you give them the code, then they reset, then say, thanks, sucker. And they hang up, and they put that code in, and they reset your password. And they take all your funds. But the thing is, you can stop that, first of all, by not falling victim to what I just talked about. Second thing you can do is there's a link in the description where I have 5 crypto critical videos. And one is how to sell and when to sell crypto, which is super popular. But the other ones that I think should be as popular is how to avoid AI scams, how to avoid tech scams, and something else. So I put them all together in 2 videos. So watch that. And the last thing I will say is, even if, like on my account, even if they got into some, I don't know, maybe I'm just not thinking straight, I give them the code, and then they like, okay, and they reset the password. They still can't take anything off of Coinbase because I have the 2-factor authenticator, the Google 2-factor authenticator. If you don't know what that is, watch the videos in the description, because they can't get that. I guess unless they call you and said, I need your Google 2-factor authenticator code. But if they do that, you know it's a straight up scam. And actually, and the reason why I know they'll call you is because I actually, did I say no? No, I got a call from a scammer. That's what it was. I got a call from somebody. This is Roy from Coinbase. I'm gonna send you a code. Tell me what it is. And actually, the code did go through. And I'm like, I'm never gonna send you the code. Are you out of your mind? And that's when the guy on the other end told me to F off, and then I'm a lazy piece of S, and that he's gonna take all my money. And I was like, wow. Then he hung up on me. I'm like, that's the worst customer service experience I've ever had with Coinbase in my life. But it was just a scam. Charles Hoskinson is going to space. Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. What happened to your swimming pool? This is just a green screen. So I just took off the green screen. Oh, it's a white screen, I guess. That's because you have a crazy social safety net that isn't sustainable. Probably true. Honest question, would you rather hold Bitcoin in iTRUST, Roth, or staked in Ledger? I do both. So here's the thing. So I use iTRUST for my Roth IRA because it's tax exempt. And what you'll notice about, like, even if Trump makes the blockchain companies tax exempt, he's not gonna, I don't think he's going to allow you to not have Bitcoin as taxable, because Bitcoin is not a company, right? Now, like Hedera Hashgraph and Cardano and Ripple, they are all companies, obviously, right? So with that one, I don't think he's going to allow Bitcoin to not be taxed, right? And that's where I'm going to put most of my funds. So with the iTrust and the Roth IRA, I'm not putting 100% of my net worth into that retirement account. Actually, it's a very smaller account. What I do is I keep most of that on my regular portfolio. Let me just show you what I'm talking about. PORT. So here's my regular portfolio. I need to update this. I keep saying I need to update it, but I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, Near, Cardano, blah, 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 and 67 others, because I've been accumulating like crazy. But what you'll notice is, what do I have most of? Bitcoin, right? And then for my IRA portfolio, you'll notice this. And what's the most of? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Sol, Ton, Sweet, gold, silver. And then, like I said, I did this video in like October because I bought Pepe, Bonk, Dogwoof Hat, and Doge. And now, of course, they're not. Well, Dogwoof Hat is actually not doing so, even though it's up 30%. But Doge is my number 3. So there's a difference between that. So yeah, I do both. Just like I don't hold only Bitcoin, or I don't hold only crypto. I have some stocks, some equities. I've got real estates and precious metals. So I like to diversify. And you don't have to, but that's just how I see it. Burp, burp, burp. Rusty Bot says, I don't get the unrealized tax thing. If a meme moons in December, then goes to zero in January, with what money are we supposed to pay those taxes with? Sounds like every investment becomes a honeypot. Yeah, I wonder how that works. Unless you could just say, I mean, because it would actually, I don't think it's like at that, and that's the thing, unless it's at that point, but it should be like year to year. It shouldn't just be like, oh, you just made, $30. All right, well, give us 10 of that or something. It never makes sense. But it is funny because Janet Yellen, the Treasury Secretary, was the one that was actually touting it like it's actually a good idea. I'm like, you're in the Treasury Secretary? Yeah, that's right. Rob, which Cardano rumor is the most believable? I don't know. I think the most believable one is that World Mobile is probably working with Starlink. That only makes sense to me. As a matter of fact, I got a call with Mickey today. Mickey Watkins, the founder of World Mobile, today in like 3 hours. Some kind of collaboration. See what's going on. I know they're rolling out their nationwide plan soon for for phone service. But the most believable, I think the most believable would be that he's already been to Congress and testified before them, or been, not Congress, I think it was just a congressional committee. And he updated them, and, whether you love him or hate him, Charles is a pretty great guy to educate a whole host of people on blockchain technology. I think he's, especially as he talks about things and people say, no, he sucks. He makes things pretty clear, and he can definitely hold an audience. So I think that one right there, that he's going to be on some kind of committee, is definitely believable. The other parts about, teaming up with SpaceX and the voter ID registration through Cardano, yeah, maybe. Yeah, give yourself a raise. Says you can lock your Coinbase account if you're ever worried. Also have 2FA set up. Exactly right. Thank you. Yeah, it was a late night. Pain. Late night. Charles looks like not material. Yeah. He didn't. Yeah, exactly. He didn't give me your money, so I'm going to take your money. That's what scammers are. I don't know what this is. What do you think about Qubetics? I don't know what that is, man. ADA is owned by the people. Sold that 90 cents on XRP, falling out of that POS. Render, everybody seems to like that. AI, DPIN play, GPUs. Dirk says everything is a scam. It's actually true. Everything's a scam until proven otherwise. Someday I hope to talk with you, Rob, about holding in a Roth. You know my answer. I'm just going to have iTRUST do it. Dare I ask, I don't even know what the price is today. I'm going to guess it's somewhere around 90,000. I know it's not 100,000 because I don't have a bunch of text messages from random friends and family going, hey, what's up with this Bitcoin thing? Once that happens, I know I'll get a bunch of those. And as it just kind of goes sideways, then not too much. Yeah. World Mobile did work with Starlink. Yep, talked about that. And there's supposed to be a documentary movie coming out, or not a movie. I think it's not just a docu-series on what they did. Yeah. Crispy Duck. Hey, Rob, can you recommend an app to track all your investments? Been listening since last bull run. I plan not to write everything down this time. It's a good plan. So there's a link in the description to CoinLedger.io. CoinLedger.io is the service that I use for my crypto taxes. But they did something very smart, is they gave you a free portfolio tracker. And you sign up and it's free. And what's great about this is that when you put all your information in, which you just tell it, all you really are doing is just giving them your public wallet addresses and just searches, and it just kind of, it just shows, what you have. And then you can also do an API integration with your exchange, and now it knows how much you bought, when you bought, what's your cost basis, what's your profit and loss, and it's free. And it was a smart thing, because if you have that all clicked in or checked in, then when tax season comes, you just click a button and it goes to your accountant or your CPA, and then they have all the information. So, and it's not that expensive. How much was it? Oh man, good Lord. Pricing. Yeah, $50. $50, $100. But if you got more than 3,000 transactions, it's $200. It's pretty good. I mean, I don't want to deal with this stuff. And then if you're like, oh, but I don't really know how to do my taxes, that's essentially me too. You just go down here, and they've got find a crypto tax expert. And these are the ones that, they're lawyers and CPAs, and they can tell you, do this or do that, or I'll do your taxes for you. So it's pretty much one-stop shop. Good stuff. Yeah, Rob, I can see why you need to be retired living in PR. Thursday night life is fire. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff going on. Stephen Armstrong, where's the pool? Pool's just a green screen. The next, okay. Metagirl says, this is a good point. Next year, you will get a deduction for your loss. Ooh. If you've got unrealized tax gains, I think that's it. We want the pullback. Green screens are expensive. I can't just start buying green screens left and right. Crown's Canadian says, I don't use these apps, spreadsheet it. The spreadsheet's fine. I have a spreadsheet, but like when I want to know like the cost base and everything, I got a lot of. If you just buy like the same thing every day and just one crypto, yeah, you can do it. Or 5. But like you've seen, like my portfolio is like 60, 70 plus tokens. So I need that service. My extra P has me happy. That's great. Yeah. And Algorand finally getting some love. Michael says, can scammers get to CoinLedger? I suppose everything's out there, but it hasn't been hacked since its inception. But if it does get, let's say a hacker does get in, they'll get your, and then the thing is, for this API integration for your exchanges, it's a read-only. So they can't make any transactions unless the whole code was changed in CoinLedger. They will get your holdings if there was like a massive, I'm just playing the game here. If there is something that happens and there's a hacker that takes down CoinLedger, which hasn't happened, they'll know, okay, this wallet 7258XYZ blah 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 has 20 Bitcoin in it, and they've also got 1 million Cardano, da da da. But I mean, that's pretty much it. Oh, no, that's not true. They would get your name and your email. So that would suck. But here's another thing. If you've been on the internet more than, I don't know, a week in your life, all that stuff is floating around in the internet anyhow. Trust me. All your information, any one of you, I can find your address, I can find your name, I can probably find your social security number. So I'm just saying, what the big thing you want to know is will they be able to take my crypto? Especially if you have like 2-factor authenticator set up. Yeah, CoinLedger API is smart. It's an additional record-keeping mechanism on the blockchain. Dan is in Puerto Rico. Rob is in Texas. Something like that. No, Dan and Rob are just right here today. Yeah. Andrew says, I just get my account the report from CoinLedger. That's me too. Nice. Here you go. And then like my CPA here in Puerto Rico is a little bit different. She wants these, like I ask her, like when I send the forms, do you want this form, or this form? And it's all these different ones for business. And she's like, I'll take this, this, and this. And it's always on the site, and you got like 6 choices. So it's pretty smooth. I'll probably be talking about them again around March of next year. Mink Darkman says, yo, Dan, would you be open to the possibility of a top in 2024 or early 2025? Or are you pretty sure it will last longer? I'm not sure about anything. I'm not sure that, because no one should be 100% sure that this bull run will last into 2025. They don't know. They're just guessing. And even if they're like, well, I'm a master TA trade person, it's only probabilities. There is nothing that's 100%. Let's get that. That's the truth. The second thing is, if you just kind of pay attention and start to, if you've layered in like I have, and then when you start to see, like, watch that video, link in the description, 80% I'm gonna sell all my crypto. But those indicators can give you a pretty good timeline of like, when we're getting overheated. Me personally, here's my goal. My goal is to get to within 60% of the top and sell. If I can get to within 60% of the top, I'll be very happy. And yeah, just layer in and layer out. So I still think that there's no reason that I can think of right now that we have a massive collapse before 2025 gets here. Maybe a pandemic, maybe a World War III, nuclear strike, probably do it. So yeah, but outside of that, I don't really see it happening. So 2025, scary times. Gotcha. Good 8 in the morning. Yeah, still DCAing. I just for me, I look at my bank account. I'm like, okay, are all the bills paid? Is there anything major coming up? What is this money doing for me? If it's just sitting there, I'm like, I need to make this money work. So as much as I can, I'll DCA and maybe a little VCA, value cost average. But yeah, I still buy some things. Not as much as I did before, because like if you look at the easiest thing to do is just dollar cost average on risk levels. Just use Ben's site. Let me show you. Like some of these cryptos, see right now, like if you've been buying in 2023 and 2024, you want to think about slowing down the buys, which I've done personally, because like I just take a look at the risks, the risk levels. Like Solana is at 0.7. It's pretty high. Like I'm going to start selling around 0.8, 0.85. So, which, let's see, what would that be? Hey, yeah, around 374 bucks. I'm around there. Around 500. Yeah, probably be taking some off the table. Why not? But yeah, if you just, and then Bitcoin is getting up there, 0.6. Now this all changes if the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve does go through and America says, you know what, we're going to go with Senator Lummis from Wyoming, and we're going to take the bill that she passed, and we're going to get 1 million Bitcoin in the reserve, and America will be buying. This risk level doesn't mean anything, because if America starts buying, other countries start buying. And before you know it, this risk level is at easily at 1.0, which would be over $200,000. And then sky's the limit. So there's that. 100. Dick Jones. No XRP jokes today, bro. The only thing I ever said about XRP was watch out. Oh, I did used to call it a stable coin, but I haven't said that for a while. But I'm glad, Dick Jones, that you've made some money on XRP. Congratulations for holding for 20 years. Sorry. No, look, man. I mean, good for you guys. Let's see. Rob, what do you think the bottom? What do you think the next bottom will be for Bitcoin in the bear market? Historically speaking, I mean, you're looking at November, December 2025, if everything kind of lines up. But again, there's a lot of things in play. I've never been in a cycle where I had the president of the United States talking about buying Bitcoin and putting it into a strategic reserve. Never. And this has never happened. I've never been in a cycle where the election for senators, congressmen, and women were hung on the fact that they were pro or anti-crypto. That's never happened before. So when I say this time is different in that regard, this time is different on that side. So who knows? Let's see. Looks like retail is back. That's it. Alan Lichtman's 13 keys told me the bull run is going to April 1st, 2025. That, you know, Alan Lichtman, if you don't know, he is the professor that predicted accurately all the presidential elections going back to 1980. And he actually predicted Trump to win in 2016 against Hillary Clinton, which nobody thought that would happen. And he did call it. And then he called Biden's win. And then this one, he was like, no, Trump's not going to win. And it's going to go to Harris. And he was wrong like everybody else, which I'm like, I mean, who gets it? No one's perfect, right? But then he went on Chris Cuomo's show and he blamed the misinformation on X and Elon Musk as the reason why his 13 keys didn't work. And I was like, look, man, if you screw up, I learned this in the Army very quickly. When you screw up, you just say, hey, that was on me. I made a mistake, and we're going to move forward. That's it. And Lichtman was wrong. It wasn't because of misinformation. Actually, if it wasn't for X, the right information wouldn't have gotten out. And there's these things called community notes. And are those 100% accurate? No, but they're a heck of a lot better than what CNN and MSNBC and CNBC and all the different news outlets do. I'm just saying. So I just thought it was a cheap move by Alan. Yeah. Dick Jones says, you put a bunch of joke coins in your Roth but no XRP? Yeah. Would you like to know how much those are up, Dick? Well, let me show you. So first of all, XRP is up 59%, which is great over a month, right? So Dogecoin is up 189%. I did that one. And then Pepe's up 102%. So I did that one. And actually, this was back in October, so, it's much more. Some other things. So, but it's not about me and you. It's about you and you. Whatever you think is good for you. We're not in a race or something. It's not the guy who's got the most money at the end of the day. There's a news flash. We're all going to die. Memento mori. So it's irrelevant. Let's see. James wants a fish. Hello. Can you move your Bitcoin from your exchange to iTRUST? No. The rules and stipulations, and they're very big on compliance over there at iTRUST, is that it has to be dollars in dollars. You can't go one for one. You can't just slide your Bitcoin over. You have to sell, which kind of sucks. And then you got to, if you had to sell, or what I do is I just put cash in, and that's it every month. If so, what's the limit you can put initially? So that also depends on your age. Per year, if you are under 50, it's $8,000 per year. If you're over 50, it is $7,000 per year. But there's a catch. If you want to put in more, and that's called a backdoor Roth IRA, and you can put a boatload in. And there's a link in the description for iTRUST. And I did a whole video series, not a series, just a very long video, like 40 minutes on how that works, how to do it, and go from there. So yeah. And then lastly, I will say this. Do you know that Peter Thiel, the investor, you know, he's got over, I know it's over I'm pretty sure it's over $5 billion now in a Roth IRA. You know how he did it? He took his PayPal stocks, which weren't worth anything back in the very beginning. He was part of the PayPal mafia, him, Elon Musk, and all these guys that created PayPal. And he took those stocks, which were with pennies, and he put in a Roth IRA. And now, of course, it's worth billions of dollars because he's a founder. And you know how much he's going to pay in taxes? 0. So that's why I think, like, if you're worried about, if you think that Bitcoin's going to keep going up, especially as a reserve currency, and you have, you know, a little bit of Bitcoin now, you could pull a Peter Thiel and just wait till it is. And then when you're 59 and a half years old, you can take it out tax-free. Dick Jones. I'm not chilling out. All these guys that failed to understand why XRP was created. I never said it was bad. I just didn't do anything. Wasn't it for cross-border payments? On-demand liquidity? So, I mean, yeah, if it's working out for you, it's great. Did Israel just attack Iran's nuclear power plants? I wouldn't put it past them. So that's one more thing to worry about. There you go. Okay, great. Looking forward to talking. Great. Why does everyone get so personal with their tokens or projects? Probably because, like, it's the same reason why, like, when you talk about selling, people hate your guts, because you're going against them. You're essentially taking food out of their kids' mouths, right? They're like, oh, you're selling? Well, that means that the price could potentially go down because you're selling, right? And then if that's the case, then you're not on team me. And people fail to realize that this is an individual endeavor, right? Like, we want things to go well. We hope it does, but you got to worry about you, yourself, and your family, right? So, and then of course, you know, people. I found this out over the last 5 years doing this. If I talk about your token, your coin, you are like, this guy is the most honest person in the world. But if I don't talk about it, or I talk negatively about it, like, this guy's a scamming piece of trash. So it's just one of those things. You can't please everybody. Yeah. I was a strong holder of XRP, then meme coins happened. Yeah. I mean, look, you can still hold both. Nothing wrong with that. Made a fortune on, there you go. Made a fortune on a fork by massive blowout top. Who answers phone calls from pollsters these days? My mom, probably. That's about it. Amy's here. Do you know Beeple? Web3 wallet? No, don't know what that is. Yep, I sold the green screen. I should have put it, I made an NFT actually. That'd been way better. Sold it for a bunch of stuff. Good Lord. Well, let's see. First of all, if you ever go to CoinGecko and you're like, are meme coins going to make it? Just look at this thing called largest gainers, and it's always meme coins. Bertram the Pomeranian is up 223%. Shoggoth and Sologenic, I don't know what the heck those are. Sad Hamster is up 6%. Anyhow, what a time to be alive. And Fartcoin is up 31%, and it's ranked 267 by market cap with a market cap of 271 million and the fully diluted valuation of 271 million, because the circulating supply and the total supply and the max, well, a little bit off, but the circulating supply and total supply are the exact same, meaning there is no dumping. There is no VCs. Well, I can't say there's no VCs. I bet you there is some VCs that got into this. That's it. This is an interesting one because it has real utility. I'm just kidding. It doesn't. Look at that. This is ridiculous. October 20th, it was 4 cents. Now it's 27 cents. It's pretty good. Congratulations, Fartcoin holders. See? Now I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to pump. Fart pumping. Where do you get it? Oh, yeah, okay. Here's the contract. It's on so if you're looking to find this, you just copy the contract address, you open up your Phantom wallet, and then go from there. And you can buy it, you can swap with them there. So that's right. Never trust a fart. Yeah. It's very true. Well, that's a good place to leave it off. Fartcoin to the moon. That's it for today. Son of a gun. Yeah, all right, everybody. Like and subscribe on your way out. If you had a good time, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the same thing. Good things are on the horizon, everybody. Congratulations for sticking around. I think you're going to like where we're going. Adios, everybody. Have a good day. Fartcoin.